I know a little bit more about coffee now, so I'm going to give the coffee pancake recipe a go. The Gravity Brazil coffee beans, I've been soaking them in the buttermilk for as long as you can, preferably overnight. So if you're doing like a Sunday brunch or something like that, you'll put them in on Saturday night, leave them in the fridge, and then let it macerate overnight. What I've got here is a strainer, and I'm just going to strain the beans into the strainer so I can get only the buttermilk out. Now the buttermilk's quite thick, so you want to make sure that you might want to put in a little bit more than what the measurement said, because you're not going to get all the buttermilk through. Now I've got some backup milk as well if you need to top it up. While that's straining to the side, I'm just going to crack some eggs in. And I've got another little shot of the Brazil coffee here as well, just to strengthen it up. Give it a bit of a coffee boost. That goes in. And I'm going to add in some vanilla paste to give it a nice vanilla flavour. Now I like vanilla, so I'm going to put a little bit more. Alrighty. Now I'm going to whisk it up with my Breville hand whisk, but you can use a hand whisk as well, it doesn't really matter. You can smell the coffee. It smells really good. Coffee and vanilla. Okay, now for the dry ingredients. I'm gonna mix it into the bowl. When you're working with dry and wet ingredients, you wanna make sure that you mix all the dry ingredients first before adding to the wet ingredients. This is so you don't have to do too much mixing when they're together. So, salt, sugar, flour, baking powder. And just give that a nice mix up so that your dry ingredients are all mixed in. And now I'm gonna add it to the wet ingredients while mixing. Now I've got some milk here. And just using the spoon, just remove all the flour off the sides and give it another good whisk. So I'm going to use macadamia nut oil instead of butter, and it still gives it that nice buttery taste. Plus it has no cholesterol, which is great for your health. Couple of tablespoons, and give that one more little whisk. Make sure that you remove all the lumps. Sweet as, it's looking good. So I've got my coffee pancakes in the pan. It's a medium heat. And what you're looking for is you'll start to see little bubbles come through at the top as they pop, and you want to sort of see them all over the pancake. You can even flip when you start to see them as well and just peek underneath with a spatula, and you'll see it's browning up. So we're going to flip it. Now, be careful when you flip it. Always move it to the end. Yeah! All right, see that? There you go, and that's how you flip a pancake. I'm pretty proud about myself with that. So we're going to cook that on the other side. Doesn't take as long on this side than it does on the first side, so you don't have to look for any bubbles or anything. There's my coffee pancakes, and they smell awesome, so let's dish them up. So I've got some banana that I've chopped up earlier here. Now you want to coat that with some lemon juice if you're going to let it sit for a while so that it doesn't go brown and yucky. Now just spread the banana out, place another pancake on top. Repeat this process. Now you can do 1, 2, 3 pancakes, as many as you like. I'm going to make a big stack. And on the top, add a few bananas and some maple syrup. Oh, it might come out pretty fast, so be careful. And pour that over. Excellent. And now for some coffee cream. Now do exactly what you did with the buttermilk. Just add the beans to the cream and then let it sit overnight, if possible, 4 hours at least. And you'll find that the cream will take on the coffee flavour. So get a nice dollop of coffee cream, spoon that on top. If you like, you can add a couple of tablespoons of sugar with it as well before you whip it. Excellent. I've just gone and coated some coffee beans, some of the Brazil coffee beans that I used, with chocolate, and you can just place them on the top. And there you go, you've got your coffee pancakes, and you'd serve it with a nice cup of Gravity coffee. love to learn about what's in my food so I know what I'm putting into my body. So I thought I'd have a chat about my recipe with Cherry from the Sanitarium Nutrition Service. This recipe, I'm stuffing some capsicums with some Moroccan couscous.
Awesome! Middle Eastern food is packed with heaps of variety of ingredients, from fresh herbs and spices to vegetables, grains, and things you wouldn't necessarily put together.
Yeah, I love using spices and fresh herbs because they're just full of flavour.
It's fantastic. If you add lots and lots of fresh herbs and spices, it means that you don't have to use as much salt. We know that salt is implicated in high blood pressure and coronary heart disease, so reducing the amount in recipes is great. And I really love that this recipe contains heaps of ginger and garlic, which have been used for centuries as medicinal aids.
We all know that garlic's good for fighting colds.
It is. It's got antibacterial, antiviral properties, and ginger helps calm the stomach and helps prevent nausea. So they're great lifestyle medicine.
So you're saying I've got a good recipe that's packed full of flavour and packed full of goodness?
You absolutely have.
Baby, I love it.
Coming up, we explore the tasty blend of sweet and savoury flavours with my recipe from Moroccan Stuffed Capsicums. I love to use fresh herbs and vegetables in my cooking, and there's nothing fresher than growing them yourself. I've come out to grab some Italian pasta and I realised I haven't given it a good feed of Vegemix in a while. Now, you want to be feeding it probably every fifth water. So if you're wondering what the NPK stands for on the front, it has a description on the back, and also you'll see the picture of the leafy greens on the front, which means it's high in nitrogen and promotes leaf growth. So I've got it mixed up here in my watering can. I'm just going to water it. And don't worry about watering it over the leaves because it's going to be absorbed through the leaves anyway and be good for it. I'm just going to pick some for my recipe. And there we go.
Baby, I love it.
I'm going to be stuffing some capsicums today with some Moroccan couscous. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a tip on how to cook couscous. You want to put a cup of couscous into a dish, and I'm going to pour some avocado zest because I just like that lemon flavour that comes through. Might add a little bit more. Perfect. And just rub in and massage the oil through the couscous. Make sure you coat all of it. And I've had my stock boiling away over here, so I'm just going to pour enough over so that it just lightly coats it. I'm just going to swirl it around so that the stock coats the whole couscous, because if you don't have enough stock in there, you'll just get undercooked couscous. Now, I don't normally use plastic wrap, but in situations like this, you just have to. So only just use a little bit, because you need to trap in all the steam. Now you want to let your couscous sit and cook and steam for 10 minutes, but keep an eye on it, check after 10 minutes exactly. So I'm just going to put it to the side, and now we're going to do our capsicums. Now I like to use small capsicums because I just like to have smaller portions of it. Also, make sure you get the ones that stand up because it just presents nicer. So now I'm going to cut off the top of the capsicum and I'm just going to core it. Just use a smaller knife. You want to cut around the capsicum. Watch your fingers and just break out the inside. And get rid of all the white, pithy part of your capsicum. Now if you break through it, it's not the end of the world, so don't be too upset about it. There you go, and it should look like this. The couscous is ready, it's been 10 minutes. So you just want to peel back the wrap. Now you'll see it's started to swell up, so it should be good. It would absorb all the stock that I put into. All you want to do is loosen it, because this is going to be going inside the capsicum and it's going to go back into the oven. So it will have more heat and it will slightly cook a little bit more. And you'll see you can just run your fingers through it and it breaks it up and becomes nice and light and fluffy. Now that our couscous is ready, I'm going to add some ginger, which has been crushed or finely grated. I'm going to add some fresh garlic, got some chopped parsley, some toasted walnuts. If you've got big chunks, you just want to break them up with your fingers. And it's always good to toast your nuts before using them because it releases all the flavours. Now we're going to add some chopped dates. I've got a mixture of spices here which will give this dish an amazing flavour. We've got some ground coriander, turmeric, chilli, paprika, fresh nutmeg, ground cumin, cinnamon, and white pepper. And we're going to give that a mix. You can smell the spices. It smells good. So I'm just actually gonna have a little taste. But it is gonna be strong. All you wanna be doing is tasting for seasoning. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Excellent, and mix that through. Looking good. Now it's time to stuff our capsicums. I'm just gonna put it into our oven dish. And you wanna make sure that you get a good mixture of walnuts, dates, and just stack it all in there. These capsicums are packed full of vitamin C, which make this a really healthy vegetarian dish. If you have larger capsicums, you're obviously gonna need more couscous, and smaller, less. But if you have couscous that's left over, it's great for just in a salad. Just cook it out. Perfect. Now I'm just gonna top these ones up. I don't know, I've got enough couscous. So just place the lids of the capsicums on. And we're gonna put these into an oven at 180 degrees for about 35 minutes. I've just pulled my Moroccan stuffed capsicums out of the oven and they smell amazing. Now if you want to mellow out the spiciness, just add some fresh minted yogurt with it and there you have a beautiful vegetarian dish. For the recipes featured on tonight's show and the chance to win fabulous prizes, see the Saver section inside this week's Herald on Sunday. Next week I get the inside scoop on one of Monsoon Poon's signature curry recipes and show you how to create a healthy dish of pan-fried fish and green herb salsa that's sure to wow your guests.